Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for hopping on to tonight's team call. I am Natasha Ferguson, the founder and star diamond of Stunner Squad. It is March 24th. We are having an impromptu team chat because of last week ending our, I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody real quick. Okay, because of the Success Club trip, we were unable to have our call. So we have a guest speaker on tonight, Naquetta Foster. She is a good friend of mine. She is from Leslie's. She's one of Leslie's personally sponsored coaches, and she lives here local to me. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to her in just 1 second. But before we do that, I just want to give a quick reminder to everybody that we still have a full week left in this month. So if you haven't reached your goals, please do not go into panic mode. Like, don't do it at all. I was still on Success Club 4, I think, when I got off of the cruise. And then I came home and went straight into like another vacation with my kids. And I'm at Success Club 10 today. I've signed 3 coaches this week. Like, there's no reason to go into panic. Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep doing your 3 vital behaviors. Make sure that you're messaging people. Make sure you're doing your due diligence and following up, and just post. Keep talking about your journey, okay? If you don't already know, the sales for this month are 22-minute hardcore down for $140. And don't forget that you will get that sandbag for free this month. You can get that with Shakeology or a performance line. PIO is also on sale for $140. The PIO Kickstart, which includes the 3-day refresh, is on sale for $180. And then just the 3-day refresh challenge pack is on sale for $140. One last thing that I want to do is just give you guys a quick shout out. Sheena, Jessica Laska, Emily Rickert, congrats to all of you guys for being Success Club 10 already. And just a real quick other shout out. I'm kind of gloating. I'm really excited as your leader, but we are the only ones from the Stunner Squad who are on the Sculpted Brilliance Success Club 10 right now. And that makes me really proud of all of you. Also, we have Crystal, who is at Success Club 5, and Jessica Prager, Katie McGowan, Sarah McVeigh, Beth. You guys are all so close, and I know the rest of you. Like I said, if you're not even on the board yet, don't panic, because it's a matter of 3 people, just helping 3 people in order to start reaching your goals for this month. So go ahead and hop on it. If you have any questions, please use our team page. We're all here to help you and for support. Check in with whoever your upline is. Check in with your success partner, and just do what you do. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Naquetta, and she is going to share some insight that she has with all of you.
Insight. That's so cute. Thank you. Hi, everybody. No pressure to chat. I love Natasha. She's my girl. That's how she got me on this video. I'm super open, super honest, and I don't know. I just talk like I'm talking to my friends. So y'all my friends, okay? So I wanted to talk about, she asked me like, what was my, she let me pick the topic. And because she wanted it to be something that I was strong in, that I could share with you. And the very first thing that came to mind was personal development. And I'll tell you why in a minute. But I want to tell you a little bit about me. Is that okay, a minute? Okay. So I've been a coach for 2 years. I'm considered a lifetime diamond. I work my business full-time, and I was able to leave my full-time job that I'd done for 10 years and work now part-time in that industry. And I'm wobbling. Whoops. And full-time for Beachbody, which is pretty awesome. I have 2 little boys, and I have a husband who is a workaholic right now, but he's about to go to school for the last 2 years of his career. And it's out of state, away from me and the boys. And so I'm going to spend the next 2 years of my life as a single mom, which is kind of crazy. And looking back on all of this and how it all transpired, there's no way we would be doing any of this if it wasn't for Beachbody, which is still so crazy. Like, I don't know. I just still can't process that. So we're going to be able to make it all happen, but it's pretty awesome. I have crazy, big, scary goals in this business because it's been the only thing that has allowed me to truly change my life. It started with like all of us, right? I think, oh, I just want to get a little healthy and fit. And I was totally the discount girl. All Leslie had to do was say discount. And I was like, I'm in. Like, I didn't even know what it meant to be a coach. Like, it was such I'm kind of impulsive that way, but whatever. So all you got to do is tell me a deal and I'm there. So I was super excited about it. But looking back on that humble beginning, if you will, to realize that this is going to be something I'll carry with me for the rest of my life. Like, I don't see a scenario in which I'm not coaching. But what Natasha will tell you, because like I said, y'all my friends, right? Super honest. Please, it was not all cool. Like, this is going to be amazing. Like, I was totally level-headed the whole way. No, I've had so many roller coasters. I've had 911 calls to Natasha because I'm like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. Because I want it to be awesome. I want to be awesome in this business. I see people being awesome in this business, and I'm like, there's no difference between me and them. I just need to stick it, do it, and make it my own because I just love it so much. My point to all of that, though, is that's what she'll always ask me is like, okay, well, like, what are you reading? What's strengthening you? What's your core? Like, you guys have the best coach ever. So, and she's right. My business always grows when I dive into personal development. And for me, it's not all business personal development. Like, it has to be personal. I'm a super touchy-feely girl. I'm a Cancer. Like, I'm all emotions and empath and all that. And so it has to be something that strengthens me from within. And then I can give of everything else. Then I can be a better mom. I can be a better wife, and I can be a better coach. And so I've read all the standard books, right? Compound Effect, Go for No. Those are all awesome and gave me that business sense, if you will, of what we do in, as coaches. But the one that was a mixture of the two was this one. So I'll hold it up. It's going to be backwards, right? Slight Edge. I heard this on call after call after call. And the last person that actually got me to read it she doesn't know this, of course, because like I don't have a line to her, was Melanie, don't be laughing, was Melanie Mitro. And I was just, I don't know, there was something about her call that day in that point in my life. And she had talked about the fact that when she read this book, it was the book that changed her business. It changed her complete perspective into how to move forward in an industry that you have to give so much of yourself, right? It's not just about knowing the product and believing in the product. It's believing in yourself and confidence in how you give that information to people. And, I'm from the mentality, because of working in corporate, that you have to be trained and be knowledgeable first before you can go out and give information. Well, that's not the way this works, really. This is kind of we throw you on the job, right? Learn as you go, because you're giving of yourself. All people want from you is your authenticity. So when she said that she read this book and it allowed her to kind of, again, I talk about that all the time, setting that core foundation within yourself to give from, I was like, oh, that sounds like my book. So I picked it up and I couldn't put it down. I read it from cover to cover. I read it twice. And then I listened to the audio because I just needed, it's just exactly what I needed at that time. I don't know if any of you have read it, but the huge difference, or the big thing that struck me with this book that made me stick to it so much, and that has, again, you know how people always talk about in this business, like you have that big aha moment. I don't feel like you have one of those. I'm on my third aha moment. I'm on the third one that finally I really feel has stuck. Ask me in like 6 weeks. But I'm on my third aha moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, I was screwing myself out of my own business. I was the reason I wasn't growing. I was the reason that my team was kind of flatlining, like we were holding one position. It was me. It was totally me. This book gave me all that insight. It's so crazy. It was like, oh God, yes. Oh yes, that too, So but one of the key things that he talks about is like the difference between success and failure is only a fraction. It's not over the course of a day or two, but over months and years. The truth is, what you do matters, what you do today matters, and what you do every day matters. Successful people just do the things that seem to make no difference in the act of doing them, and they do them over and over and over until the compound effect kicks in. So if you haven't caught that, this book is by Jeff Olson. You heard that compound effect part in there. And it's so true. It's such a simple statement. And like, again, when Natasha, we talk all the time. So when Natasha and I were talking, she's like, well, what was so significant about that? Like, didn't you already know that? But it's one of those things where you hear it so much, like you have to be in that right space in time for it to really kind of sink in and impact. And I'm like, well, yeah, I heard it, but it was too easy to be the true answer. But it totally was the truth. Like there's nothing, there's no secret sauce. There's no amazing, like gifted people that you see in the top and on the leaderboards. It is simply the fact that no matter what, they don't stop. No matter what, they don't give in. They consistently do the same mundane things that we think don't matter because they're so insignificant they feel. But they're the most powerful things in our business. And when I held on to that, everything changed for me. It didn't just affect how I held myself as a Beachbody coach. It affected how I was with my friends, how I was with my husband, how I was in my other profession as well. Because again, it's those consistent behaviors that you choose to do, right? How many times do your challengers say, how do you get the motivation to work out? I kind of want to do one of these when people say that. You don't actually get the motivation to work out. You make it, right? You just get in there and do it. Like you're still probably talking yourself into it when Autumn or Tony or Sean T are like already yelling at you from the screen. You're still in your head like, dude, I could be sleeping like 10 more minutes right now. So it's not about like getting it. You make it. You create it. You know, I just what was it, last night posted and I said it was about not waiting for the stars to align your own damn stars. Oh, sorry, there's a baby in someone's arms. But my point is, it's so the truth, right? So that's what I loved about, that was that first part that kind of stuck me with the book. One of my other favorites was the journey starts with a single step. Now, this part right here, not with thinking about taking a step. Oh my gosh, I'm so guilty of that. I write lists to make lists, to use the list, to do the list, to start the list. Like I will overanalyze myself to exhaustion. So when I decided to no longer think about what I wanted to do or how I wanted to create my team, or here's the silly stuff, what should my team name be and how pretty should the pictures be and all that sort of stuff. When I just decided I'm just going to do it. I'm going to post it with my little hair sticking out on the side like that because you know what? If I take too much time to sit here and overanalyze this photo, it's never going to end up on Facebook. Nobody's going to care that I worked out because it's going to be 2:00 in the morning. You know, so it's that kind of stuff. Again, like today, what can you do today in this moment where you are? You can't go back and be Leslie, Melanie. You can't say, I wish I was a coach in whatever when it first came out, because that would be amazing. Like you cannot even be looking in anybody else's windows. It's great to seek out the leaders in this business for inspiration, to know that it's real and that it can happen for real people. But if you spend too much time looking in their windows and in their lane, like you will trip yourself up trying to create your own growth because you think my stuff has to look like that or my posts have to seem like that. And those are the posts that like 2 people click on that they like because they're not authentic to you, and your people that have been following you or that have known you your entire life are like, I don't even know who that girl is. So I threw all that out the door. I decided, you know what? If I'm ever going to be successful in this business, the slight edge says that I can. The slight edge tells me that they're no different than I am. The only difference that they have that I don't have is that they decided every day to do the small, consistent behaviors that would equal success. You know the path to success. You know it. It's simple. It's just hard work and due diligence. But we stop because we want to find that thing, that difference, that moment, that extra something. There is no extra something. It's hard work. Consistent work. It's not even that hard, really. Just consistent work, right? So, I don't know. The only thing I wanted to say about that as I babble on is I think why this type of book impacted somebody like myself, if you're somebody that feels, oh, yeah, I have a point. When I worked in the corporate, that's why I said I'm talking like I'm talking to my friends. When I worked in a corporate setting, I was extremely successful at that. I've worked in the same industry for the last 15 years, and I never had any intention. Like I said, I started as a discount coach. I never had any intention to look at quitting that industry. I was going to ride that out forever. And so I assumed that when I would choose to work this business, that it would naturally be as easy, because obviously I was good at whatever. I'm going to, of course, just transition that. And I think that that's why that's why I feel like personal development shouldn't be number 3 on the list. It should be number 1, because I have never experienced anything in my life like Beachbody that is something that literally tears you down to build you up. You create a whole new you, but it's like the best part of you that was in you that you didn't even know was in there. Like, it's just shaking off all the crap that you've carried into adulthood, thinking we had to be these kinds of people, right? And so, I don't know. From that book, I got all that. From one simple book that's, I'm looking, maybe 276 pages. And yes, it's on audio too. So if you haven't read it, I cannot stress. It's like the number one thing I give my coaches now, because I just feel like it breaks it down in such a simple way to remind you that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. That you don't have to build a mountain. You just need to frickin' take one step, forward, and just keep moving forward. They use the example of like creating interest in your own financial account. Would you take that 1 million lump sum, or would you take a penny every day that created interest and grew over your entire lifetime? A penny. And of course you would have more money than the person that took $1 million straight payout, because of course taxes, but So it's that same thing in your life too. Will you take those small investments in your life every day to create the life you only dreamed you could have? And I'm not just talking Beachbody, because it's not just Beachbody. It's just, it helps us to be so much better as coaches. So I don't know. I think that's all I had to say.
Okay, so I have 2 things to say. And the first is, and some of you have probably heard this and some of you for sure haven't, but I will never, ever, ever forget going along what Q was saying. When I was like a month into my Beachbody business, I was hanging out with Leslie at the golf course one day, and I was just telling her, like, after I had this amazing success in my first 2 weeks as a coach, right? All of a sudden I had these 2 really slow weeks, and I was like, I don't really know if this is for me. And she was like, I roll from like heaven, right? Because who can know if you make $400 in 2 weeks with Beachbody, and then you're like, I don't know, because my last 2 weeks I only made $150. Like, how dumb, first of all, right? But she literally said to me, here's the thing. No, this business isn't hard at all. Like, it's not hard. The hardest part about this business is that it's kind of boring at times, right? Like, that is the hardest part about this. And so I will never forget that. Like, it is one of those things, like, I hear her saying it to me in my head over and over and over on those days when I'm like, I don't have anything to post about today, or like, how annoying am I if I post about Beachbody one more time or whatever. And I literally have to like stop myself and talk myself out of it and be all logical and say like, you have 2,300 friends. They did not all see you post yesterday about Beachbody and your workout. Like, it is okay for you to post about whatever opportunity today. And like, sometimes I literally just have to talk myself through it because I just think I'm so monotonous over and over and over posting the same things day in and day out, or week in or week out, or whatever. But that's just how the business works, right? We are so overwhelmed in seeing Beachbody posts because I see Emily's and Naquetta's and Jessica's and Sheena's and Katie's and Allie's and Kristen's. I see them because I'm constantly liking them. So I'm trying to build your affinity, and you're building our affinity, and you're building everyone's affinity. So Facebook says, you want to keep seeing this because you keep liking it. So we're just used to seeing it. So we think everybody else is seeing our stuff like that also, but they're not. So the hardest things about this, I really think, are you get bored and you get nervous and you get worried that everybody is seeing your same post over and over and over, but they're not. And the people who are, those are the people who need to see it. And Facebook knows that because those are the people who are liking it and clicking on it and reading it. So Facebook is continuing to show it to them. And those are the ones who end up being your challengers and your customers and your potential coaches and your rock stars in the future. So whenever you get that feeling like, oh, I just don't want to do this again, or it's not worth it, or whatever, it is, because it comes back to that penny that Q was saying. Like, you have to make that 1 cent deposit every single day into your bank account. And when you're doing that post, those 3 posts every single day, and one of them's about Beachbody or your Shakeology or your workout or the coach opportunity every day, that is you making that deposit into your business, into your future, into your life, into your dreams. And so you just have to keep working through it and remind yourself, you might be bored some days, but that's when you just have to shake it up a little bit, right? I mean, work with somebody, join up with someone to run a challenge group, do a different free group next month. Like, you don't have to do the same free group every month, because those are the things where you're like, there's no change, you get bored, like, you know what I mean? And the second thing is, I wanted to let all of you know, the reason that I asked Naquetta specifically to come do this call is because I'm very aware that we all have different personalities, and you guys know I'm big into the color code, right? And I know everybody's blue and red and yellow and white, and I am that red-blue 50-50 split almost. And so I have a lot of like back and forth battles. I kind of feel like I'm my good angel and my bad devil is constantly going like this with every decision I make, every post I put on our team page, every post I make on my own personal page, everything I do in my life. It is the most draining thing in the world. Don't ever be me. But I know that I can't, like, sometimes I can't relay certain information to you guys the way that I mean for it to come across. And a lot of you are pearls and a lot of you are emeralds, right? Have you guys done this test? And that is Naquetta. So I knew she would be able to talk to you in a way that I can't. I just can't. I hear her and I'm like, yeah, but she's like, because she's my homegirl and I see her, I just go like this. Why? Like, why? But I can't always do that to you guys, because when I say it over like Facebook Messenger, you're like, why are you being such a bitch? And I don't mean to be. It just comes from my loving place of like, you've got this. I know you do. You just do it. You already know everything you need to know. But I know sometimes you need to hear it from someone who has all that, like, you know, niceness to them. And I don't always have that, but Naquetta does. So that is why I asked her to come on and just kind of share, you know, her experiences. And just so you guys know, you know, she's been doing this just as long as me. And it's not always easy. It's a little bit of a roller coaster, and it's up and it's down. And if you feel like quitting, you're not the first person. I have thought about quitting like every other day for like, months in the past. I was like, I'm not doing this. Yes, I am. I'm going to be the top 10. I'm not doing this. I'm going to be 15 star. I'm not doing this. I'm going to cry myself to sleep tonight. And then the next day I'm like, it's a new day. It's a new month. Like, forget what happened in the past, right? Like, you just have to keep on and remember your why. When you know why you're doing this, and when you're doing your personal development, whatever it is, even when things don't go your way, you just keep moving on. Whenever you fail, it's just a lesson to learn how to move forward and how to do something differently, and just keep on. All right, you guys, does anybody have any questions for Naquetta or about other personal development books or about the Slight Edge or anything? Nope. You can unmute yourself. Okay. Well, then I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording, and we will get you guys off of here. And like I said, we have 1 week left. I have nothing but faith in every single one of you. This is going to be an awesome month. I'm really proud of everything that you guys have done already. Thank you so much for hopping on tonight. I will see you guys on the team page. Bye. Oh, and thanks, Naquetta.